This is a HeadGum podcast.
Welcome to Girls on Porn. I'm Rachel.
I'm Laura.
And we love porn.
This is our porn review podcast.
We talk about what we love and we roast what we hate.
Helping you find hot, ethical, just plain better porn for your spank bank.
And we're looking at everything.
Before we introduce the topic, we have a dirty little segment for you today.
69 seconds of sex news. We've pulled headlines from the news to keep you informed and horny. Here we go.
A recent study found that women have time for sex, but not always for orgasms. The research found that women are less likely to pursue an orgasm if there is a time constraint or if they have a selfish partner. The study, which was published in the Journal of Sex Research, one of our faves, is trying to find ways to close the orgasm gap. Researchers suggested clitoral stimulation and sexual communication. See also a wonderful podcast we just discovered called Girls on Porn.
Speaking of closing the gap, Rachel Bilson recently admitted that she didn't have an orgasm from sex until she was 38 years old. While she said she could get there by masturbating, she never climaxed from penetration until she was almost 40. Our celebrity gossip sleuthing places her in a relationship with Bill Hader when she finally hit the big O. Congrats to Rachel and to Bill, assuming you had something to do with that. And better luck next time to Hayden Christensen.
No way! There's a debate raging online about whether straight people can use the term partner for their significant other. A recent etiquette guide in New York Magazine called it annoyingly vague and smug when heterosexuals use the word partner. Some believe it actually appropriates queer language and culture because partner was a commonly used option for people in queer relationship before gay marriage was legalized. The article goes on to say it's okay to use the word when trying to land an apartment or get a seat in a plane together. Did you want my opinion on this? I'm so glad you asked. Putting aside the flimsy argument that it's okay for straight people to appropriate queer culture if and only if it's for personal gain, I actually think partner is a great word under various circumstances for all kinds of people because it's vague. I like the ring that partner has over more juvenile and binary boyfriend or girlfriend, and it doesn't imply any societally obligated relationship conventions like marriage that are built into so much of the very limited terminology available. And would it be so bad if more couples, even the straight ones, started queering their lives gently and rejecting heteronormative and mononormative conventions? I mean, sure, they're probably doing it just because it's hip to be queer, but maybe it's not a detail worth policing, and why don't you get off my back about it?
Have you ever wondered how to properly dispose of a sex toy that you don't want anymore? Well, there are now a few different options available instead of trashing it when you're spring cleaning. If your toy is broken, you can have it repaired through a company like Love Not War, or recycled through companies like Come As You Are in Canada, or Eden's Fantasy in Georgia. And there's even a growing market to resell used toys. Squeaky Clean, a company that call themselves the Depop of dildos, properly sterilize and sell consignment sex toys. Even dildos can be green.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. That was me trying to make a queef noise. Was that clear?
Oh, it wasn't clear.
I was trying to come up with a sound for our topic, which is cream pie.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it could be silent.
It could be silent. Most of the time I think of it as being silent.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Or it's me going, I'm just going to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, waddling to the bathroom. Cream pie. Cream pie is the topic.
The topic is cream pie. Do we need to define?
Oh, I mean, I love a definition.
Do you have one? Because I don't.
Of course.
Great.
This is from kinkley.com, our favorite source for all things kink. Cream pie refers to a desired outcome in pornographic films in which ejaculate is shown to seep out of a vagina or anus. Cream pie is also a fetishized act. It's actually relatively new in pornography. It's believed to emerge in the 2000s. But I like this definition because it says it's a desired outcome. Because accidental cream pie, something different.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever noticed that when searching the aggregates, but sometimes it's like accidental cream pie.
I don't know anything about that
Yeah.
subgenre,
Well,
I guess you could call it.
I mean, that the use of the word accidental gives like some I guess it gives it a time and place, you know?
Yeah. Does it have who's it for? Is it like is accidental
Yeah.
cream pie meant to it feels dicey.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
it definitely is dicey. I mean, I think it's usually like around like I accidentally came in my step sibling, you know?
I see. So it's like it's the added taboo. It's the like it feels like sneaking the condom off.
I
Like, it feels
would argue
rapey.
that all cream pies are accidental. You know? Unless you're trying for a baby. Like, I don't know. I mean,
Oh, I'm thinking of it more from the place of like letting yourself come versus not come.
Oh.
You see, like, whether the dude in this case is like holding off the orgasm, was like, whoops, I came. Like, I meant to not, you know?
Yeah. I think we're saying the same thing.
Are we saying the same thing?
Yeah.
I love it when we do that.
I think like the idea of it being an accident, you know?
Yeah.
Is,
I just don't know.
In my life, anyways, it's usually always an accident. I'm never like, I mean, well, actually, that's not true. I've been known to say the phrase "come in me" once or twice.
Oh, I love to be coming.
Do
Should we go there? Should we just like do that part first?
Why not?
Yeah, I like
Mm.
to be coming.
Okay.
Let me
Expand on that.
talk about why. I think, I mean, it is an intimate thing.
Of course.
Like, I don't need all sexual partners to come in
No.
me, but like a partner I have an emotional romantic connection with.
Yes.
I like it because I like the idea that they can just give over to the moment. Like, I like the pleasure and the like abandon of it, I
Right.
guess.
When you have to pull out, you're like,
Yeah.
last second.
I
you
also
know?
love feeling someone come in me.
Oh.
Like, I like feeling their pleasure
Yes.
inside of me.
Right. The release.
The release, the like
Mhm.
sensation of their body like
Yeah.
bucking like while
Right.
they're inside of me.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that's
Yeah, yeah,
hot. I mean, that's hot
Right.
under any circumstance.
The
but
hot
like,
spray.
you know, and you know, she'll give a little squeeze. She'll give a little hey.
Clamp down
You know,
on it.
if I
Yeah.
have already come or haven't yet.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. I guess because I
Give 'em a
haven't been
little,
on.
well done.
I haven't been on birth control for like a really long time. So
I
that's why
see.
all cream pies feel like they're accidents because, you know, there have been moments
Generally,
in my
you're
life
avoiding
where I'm like
internal cum.
microdosing Plan B. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
But I do previously when I have been on like some form of birth control that isn't like a condom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I use an IUD, and
Okay,
this might be
sure.
an accidental advertisement for copper IUDs, but non-hormonal
Yeah.
and more effective
yeah,
than
you
condoms.
love
Love to talk about it.
Yeah.
Love to talk about it.
Well, because there's always something that you say where you're like, oh, it's actually because it's copper. There's like an extra percentage of it being effective, and we
Yeah.
actually like don't know why. Like,
Have I
there's
talked about
something-
this on the show too much already?
I don't know if you talked about it on the show, but you
I'll talk
definitely
about it
told
on the
me.
show.
IRL.
When I got my first copper IUD inserted,
Mhm.
it was after having been on hormonal birth control.
Mm.
And listen, the copper is not for everybody. I know people who've had bad experiences.
Sure.
I happen to have had a good one, and it was recommended to me by my mom, who probably has similar
Sure.
body chemistry and is kind of witchy.
She's a little woo-woo.
She's a little woo woo.
Uh-huh.
And
Shout out to Pam.
Shout out to Pam. Hi, Pam. Hey, Mom. And I'm on my porn podcast. She's the only member of my family that wholeheartedly supports it. Anyway, she recommended it because I was like, the hormones from the birth control that I'd been on prior was making me crazy. And I was going through a breakup and was like
Mhm.
so sad, like
Right.
not okay, like crying in the stairwell at work,
Mhm.
outside of who I am kind
I'm
of
sure.
emotional journey.
Yeah.
Went off of that birth control, got the IUD, and like the clouds parted, and I was still sad, but it was like a healthy amount of sad for breakup as
Sure.
opposed to like, is she losing it kind of sad.
This
And
is a
when
perfect opportunity to say any amount of sad is a healthy amount of sad if
you
you're
can be
going
as
through a
sad as you
breakup.
want. It just was like a lot for me. You know, like
Sure.
I'm not a huge crier.
Sure.
Have gotten better at that in adult life.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like,
Cries all the time now.
by the way, I was also an adult for this story. But as I've adulted further into what am I now? Am I middle aged?
Oh,
Anyway, we're off
God.
topic. So when I got it, the gynecologist, who is also kind of woo-woo,
Sure.
probably the best gyno I've had, but I've never been back to that doctor. You know, they give you like the good doctor for the
Sure.
IUD, and then you see
Uh-huh.
other
The nurse practitioner or
practitioners. You know,
something.
like she was like the boss lady,
Mm.
and she was like, "It's good you're getting this." And then she was like, "Do you want to know about the IUD and how it works?" And she explained, and I'm probably bastardizing this, and maybe there's been studies since then because this was
Mm.
a while ago, that like there's a combination of things that make it effective, but they still don't like officially quite know why it's so effective. Meaning like, we know it like thickens the mucus on the uterine wall, and it does this and it does this.
Wow.
And you add those up and it should be 97% effective, but it's like 99 or something like
Right.
that. It's like very
And the
highly
last 2%
effective. Magic.
is magic.
It is
Yeah.
it is witchcraft.
It is magic.
So anyway, I feel very safe having people come
Wow.
inside of me is
Yeah.
what that's all leading up to.
I guess I getting a little little teary-eyed, little reminiscent, thinking about, like having someone come in with me with abandon. I did really like it. I do remember.
Like, cool, let's pivot.
I do really remember. I mean, I have talked about this before, but that one specific European trip where I was a full cum dumpster by the end of it. But actually, one of the first times I came to LA,
yeah,
I had sex with someone the night before my flight, and they came in me, and normally, you do the little waddle and you go to the bathroom and you push it out and, you move on with your life. But I guess, I don't know if I forgot. So it was just in me marinating for some time. And the only reason I know that is because I went through security. Something.
You thought you were going to get busted for having jizz in you?
I didn't even think about it. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was going through security, through the thing where you stand like this or whatever. And then you come out and she literally, there was something, she showed me the screen and she was like, so you see there's there's something in your inner thigh. Do you have anything? And I was like, no. And she was like, I'm just going to pat you down. And it has to be a woman who does it because it's literally in your genitals. And I was like, weird. What were they picking up on? And I don't know for a fact that that's what it is. But then shortly after that, I went to the bathroom and old cum did fall out of me. So I don't know.
There was old cum down your leg.
No, it was I sat in the toilet and it fell out. And I was like, oh, okay. Thank God I'm on birth control.
Was it still inside of you by the time you got to the bathroom though? Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
I mean, was the jizz in your panties and that's what they were seeing? Or was
no,
it in your...
It was fully in me.
Would the scanner pick up on that?
I have no idea. I'm just saying that's what I don't know if they're.
I think it's a coincidence because
it's a coincidence,
even the thought of jizz on your leg being picked up on the scanner.
Maybe there were heavy metals in that person's cum. I don't know. It's tough to say.
Fun explanation.
I mean, I don't know what his diet was.
I love the pseudoscience of this.
But I'm just gonna say.
Anyway, you made it through security.
I could have gotten arrested for that.
That's bonkers.
Yeah. Anyways.
I like it.
I have some fun. Oh, should we talk about the history? Because this is really fascinating.
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
So there's a great article in Vice.
Right.
Who we constantly endorse.
Right.
You can't help it.
Basically,
we love them.
cream pies were not a thing in pornography for a really long time.
Until a group of activists made the choice to
when we think
fight for this in the adult industry.
Right. When we think about the golden age of porn, facials were a thing. You wanted to see the money shot, which
That's
was
where that came to be.
Seeing the cum. You saw facials, you saw a pearl necklace, whatever. Because I think that this is funny because if the person came inside of them, they would be like, well, how do we know he really came? How do we know?
Yeah.
So this was sort of the best of both worlds is well,
you can see the cum,
and then
you get a close up.
It drips out
the pussy. Yeah. So this was a campaign essentially launched by someone who identifies as Sir Ron.
Mm-hmm. He was one of Benny, yes.
Which is incredible. Yeah, he was part of, there was a group initially started just to find the clips that had this because amateur porn had it or there were places that you could find it, but it wasn't a studio trend.
Yeah.
And then they basically advocated for themselves and were we want to see this.
Yeah, they were
people
going around to
this.
trade shows.
And then they made a trend. Essentially, people started doing it and then all things in porn, once a trend pops up, everybody's we're going to do the most cream pies. And it becomes that kind of thing. And it took off. And now it's
it's a huge thing.
Arguably as common or certainly very popular and going toe to toe with the cum shot.
It does make sense though, because you do get in that article, Sir Ron, shout out, said you get the added stimulus of seeing the genitalia, know, as opposed to just seeing someone's face be
Yeah.
Now you're getting the...
It begs the production logistical question.
Oh, sure.
Of what happens when that big old dick comes all the way deep inside her and you gotta shake it out. You know what I mean? Sometimes people come in you and it's not immediately gonna slide out. I'm more what's the...
I'm doing it right now.
Between you're am I...
You push it.
Bear down.
Yeah. You use your pelvic floor and you push it out.
I guess you literally bear down and push out cum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you?
Yeah.
I guess it would help. It would slowly, it's kind of shaking a ketchup bottle.
Is that what you do?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I do when I waddle my way to the toilet and I sit on the toilet and then
You hold it and then...
Well, no, I don't. I mean... I mean, like, I'll waddle to the toilet and then I sit there and then I push. I give a push, like when you push out a baby.
I guess so. I don't
You know?
usually bear down when I'm letting come. I just
You
let
just
it
let
fall out of
gravity
me.
do its thing.
Yeah, I just let
Okay,
it fall.
well, what if that person's ejaculate is a little bit thicker? You know,
It's a valid.
you don't know
point.
what the consistency
Then
is.
it
You don't know
comes
what
out
the
of me the next day at the
viscosity is.
airport, doesn't it?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
you don't want
valid.
it in there for too long.
Different,
I will
you know,
say that.
comes are as different as
Mhm.
snowflakes.
But it's also interesting to note that, like, because of like the overturning of Roe v. Wade, a lot of porn stars are kind of saying that they won't do
Pushing back on them.
they won't
Yeah.
do cream pies anymore.
That kind of struck me too.
Yeah,
Like I was like, oh, interesting. I guess if
Right.
you are having that much sex,
right.
the risk of pregnancy is more threatening.
Right, and so they're probably
Which is
I mean,
interesting. I'm curious, like how many are really.
I bet they
taking
didn't think
issue
about
with
that
it.
on the Supreme Court.
They
Did
sure
they?
didn't.
No,
I think it's fair to say they didn't. They
Yeah.
definitely didn't. Also important to note that there are fun terms for the gay cream pie.
sure.
For like an anal cream pie, called breeding
Right,
or the
breeding.
reverse money shot. Breeding is
Mhm.
fun. I think
Reading
that's
is fun.
It's a fun. It's playful. You know, it's like teasing the trope. A little.
I actually have some other terms that I found on the internet that are
love
alternative
it.
terms
I'm
for
here for
cream
it.
pie.
Okay,
First one, milk in my truck.
tight,
Uh-huh.
tight. Here for it.
It goes without saying, I've never heard of any of these before in my life. Old King Clancy.
What?
I don't know.
Who's King Clancy?
I don't know. Cheesy.
It's gonna be a British thing. It's gonna be a
Cheesy-
random British slang I've never
I'm
heard.
sure all of these are Britishisms.
They
Okay.
always are.
Cheesy Gordita Munch.
No, that one's American. That's Taco Bell.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Puritan Gravy.
Puritan gravy.
This one is my
Horrifying.
favorite. Okay. Squiddy Bubbler.
What? Squiddy what?
Squiddy Bubbler. That one is like the most British.
Squiddy bubbler.
Squiddy
If you
Bubbler.
go squiddy bubbler.
What are even those? That sounds like I'm having a stroke. You know, neither of those things are words. Squiddy Bubbler.
Squiddy bubbler. Okay.
A few more. Canadian Snow Goose.
Aw.
And-
Why is that one sweet
I don't
somehow?
know. Yeah.
I don't quite get what that one's about. Canadian snow goose?
I don't
Canadian
either.
snow goose.
I don't know. And the last
It gives
one.
me feathers as opposed
Yeah.
to jizz. It feels feathery as opposed to liquid.
Well, again, you don't know what these people's viscosity is like.
Fair. I've never encountered feathery jizz.
you've never
but
just
never
got-
say never.
Dust at you. Dirt pipe milkshake is the last one.
Wow.
Dirt pipe milkshake. Yeah,
That
that
was
feels
a
so uniquely
Incredible
American.
list. Yeah. Somehow the dirt pipe feels American. There's an
Yeah.
Americana
There's
something
Americana
somehow
vibe.
infused in there.
Uh-huh.
I'm a fan.
Also, just some fun stats.
Okay.
Gen X visitors aged 35 to 54 are
Mm.
65% more interested in cream pie videos.
Yeah.
Which tracks because those are probably the same people that like went for that like helped build it into you know what I mean?
Their movement.
It's their movement. They're
It's
still
their political achievement.
they're hanging on to it.
Congrats.
Yeah. Also, Gen X visitors, aside from cream pie videos, they're also 19% more into fisting. Just thought I'd throw that.
Just
one
throwing
in there.
that in.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anything else to say about cream pie?
About cream pie.
Yeah. Oh, I'll say this. I will say this. You know, it comes with risks. Obviously.
Yeah,
A
well,
cream
I
pie,
just talked
you know,
about birth control for
birth control, but also STIs, you know, barrier free.
I see. Yeah.
Because, you know, we talked about, in 2004, there was a very big case in the adult entertainment industry where a performer got HIV.
Oh shit.
From having from an anal cream pie scene.
From an anal cream pie scene.
So there is that risk, obviously. Be smart, get yourself tested.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
wear a
and it's
condom.
wild that happened in the industry because they get tested so regularly.
I know,
but
I know.
Nothing's perfect, you know?
You know.
That's a shame.
Right. It's a shame. But you know what? In today's day and age, you can have HIV.
HIV is manageable.
Yeah.
We've gotten there. We
Right.
did it.
PrEP, you know,
Yeah.
people can be undetectable.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
You love
didn't
to
know
see
we were
it.
going to go down that route, but here we are.
We've covered. I've talked extensively about my anatomy and IUDs.
Gopper, I didn't.
You talked about being sad and missing wanting someone to come inside you, and we've covered HIV. So like, it's a comedy podcast for sure.
Should we do the showdown?
Let's do it.
Okay. Best friend's husband puts me to bed with a cream pie. Devil emoji face.
That's funny because it feels like a nighttime snack.
Yeah, exactly.
Feels like a sweet treat before bed.
Right. Which, like, honestly, I don't think of. When I think of cream pie, I only think of like in the porn sphere. Like I never think of a dessert.
Cream pie does not, I no longer associate it with food at all.
Well,
because I feel like cream pie is like not a thing exactly.
Yeah, when there was like some articles where be like, not, as opposed to the American dessert, I'm like, which dessert?
Yeah,
what are you talking
literally
about?
When you say cream pie, I picture like a tin with whipped cream in it that they smash in your face on Love Island. Like that's a cream pie to me. It's like, it's not really a pie.
Right.
Like some producer just went,
not a dessert just called a cream pie, is there?
Is there?
Okay, because I think it's cream space pie, like banana cream pie.
Banana cream pie.
No. I was like, key lime cream pie. That's not a thing. But usually it's like cream space pie, but like cream pie, you see how I said it? One word.
To be fair, when I Googled cream pie definition, one word, all that comes up is stuff about
porn.
Cum shots.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
And 2 words, a pie with a sweet custard-like filling.
Okay.
Often topped with whipped cream.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. You're a witch.
2 separate words.
And a genius.
Yeah.
Okay, from me.
I don't get that compliment often, so thank God we got it on camera.
I'm gassing you up today, babe.
Your turn.
Okay, I'm going to start with simply creamy. Whole title.
Creamy. Yeah, I like that.
Just short and sweet, letting us know what we're in for.
Literally.
Creamy.
Okay. Who needs a girlfriend? My hot stepmom does it better and likes cream pies. Well, when you have a stepmom like that.
Who needs a girlfriend when your hot stepmom likes cream pies?
And now I understand why I'm still single.
Wait.
Wow.
Because you're not a stepmom or because you don't like
because this guy's saying, who needs a girlfriend?
Yeah. It's the stepmoms are taking all your thunder.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I just have to wait for my stepmom era.
Yeah. It's coming, baby.
So close.
You do have to meet that person to then become the stepmom and then you can.
Oh my God, more hurdles?
Younger. Yeah. It's a long journey, but believe in your dreams. Attempt to spice up the relationship turned out into pussy cream pie.
Oh. Spicing it up.
Yeah, we were spicing up the relationship. Turned out into a pussy cream pie.
I hate when things turn out into.
That happens. I hate when something turns out into something you didn't intend,
Orgasm a cream pie in her dad's office. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, that one doesn't quite add up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I get it.
Right. And like, I'm assuming that they have sex and then he has an orgasm and cream pie's her and it just happens to be in her dad's office. But
yeah, I think they're just adding some element of danger. Is like, dad could walk in at any moment.
Right.
Don't know if it's like a strong selling point worthy of the title, but here we are.
Like, are we there during business hours?
Yeah.
That's my immediate question.
Important detail.
Yeah.
Crucial detail.
Right.
He couldn't hold back and cummed inside. Italian dialogues.
Oh.
This one's for us.
This one is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sign me up. You know what? I'm going to watch it. Brush up on my Italian.
That's good.
Okay.
I'll like get some new vernacular, some slang.
Family strokes. Lucky stud cream pies his caramel tanned MILF stepmom in front of his stepdad.
They really let you know.
Yeah.
Also, some detail.
They're really appealing.
Yeah.
And also appealing to like more than all of our senses.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's the one for the foodie. Like that one feels like it has a food theme.
You were
to the
looking for
cream
cream space pie, but you got cream pie, so we're gonna throw some caramel on top.
We're gonna some like caramel tan lady for you. For you to gobble up as well. Last one for me.
Great.
Huge cum shot on panties compilation ever.
On panties?
Mm-hmm. Hugest cum shot on panties compilation ever.
I would argue
they
that
really
there's
took
not a cream
journey
pie in
before
there.
we got back to ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the cream pie if there's panties,
Uh-huh. Yeah. I didn't watch it, to be fair.
Okay,
so I'm
so we don't
curious. Like, are we keeping the panties on to fuck, which we both think
Right.
is hot?
Yes.
Is that a bonus? And then the cream, and then the panties and the cream pie. Or are we coming on the panties?
Yeah.
Did they have sex even? Raises a lot of questions.
Right, it
and
really
it's a
does.
compilation. I've never seen one of these porns, so
Right.
I'm fascitated that they've been able to put together.
Let's get down to it.
The
you
biggest
know?
compilation ever could just be 3 clips, but who knows?
Let's find out.
Yeah.
Should we take a break?
Yeah.
Great. Wife fucks 2 guys and gets double cream pie in public while out running /sloppy second /yoga pants.
It's not a showdown title. It
Right,
is
it's
the video we'll be discussing right here for you today.
That's what we're going to talk about.
So,
This is from Serenity Cox, and she's a Pornhub verified model. This is kind of her thing, is like doing like public stuff.
yeah.
So we're outdoors. She's got her Lululemon kit on. She's getting ready for her run. And she stretches in some ways that just immediately tell me that she's not a runner.
Never exercised a day in her life.
Yeah.
We get about 3 seconds of jogging,
Right.
which is enough.
And then she just peels off-road, which I was like, okay, interesting choice there. Like,
And then
because like off-road running, like, I have a lot of questions. But anyways. And then
she's not really on a run, to be fair.
No, of
That's
course.
essentially the spoiler of this video is
because
like
she stops by a tree for no reason.
Yeah, she doesn't quite commit to the concept, you see, is like,
Yeah.
she's not like, I was just very confused
Right.
about the actual plot here.
Right.
She goes on a short jog.
Is she supposed to meet this person?
Yeah, clearly
Is it
she's
an
meeting this
accident?
person.
Yeah.
She must be wordlessly. So she goes to the woods. She stretches on a tree for
When we don't know why.
some reason.
Yeah.
And then a man appears and they
Right.
just start fucking. No, like, hey, you
Right.
made it. Great to see you. Like, how's your jog so far? I mean, this is terrible small talk to make
No,
with a lover,
right.
but like, no words.
And I will say the outfit that this man is wearing is like, this is my red flag for men and dating profiles. Is like, it's like a flat brimmed hat and like a patterned button down short sleeve shirt. Like, you put those 2 combos together and I'm like,
But it feels somehow like, is it Euro trashy? Because what you just described could just be like over the top trying to be hip or something.
no, it's like,
But it's failing.
it's not trying to be hip. It's like
Yeah.
someone who has no sense of style whatsoever. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
that's what he's wearing.
Yeah.
Like a person who wears an outfit like that, like probably has like a very like thin, like facial
Yes,
hair
he's got a
beard.
chin strap.
You know what I mean?
Kind of vibe, kind of
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why it gave me also like a Euro trashy vibe, but like we're like the particular
No, if it had been
items.
Euro trash, it would have been really tight pants.
Yeah, good point. The pants weren't tight, so there's
Right.
not verification of the
shorts.
Euro trash. That it was shorts.
So-
Yeah.
Like, this is the kind of person who wears like skate shoes but has never skated.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're off-brand skate
Right,
shoes. Like it's
right.
not like a hot sneaker,
No.
a statement sneaker.
So
anyway, we don't need to analyze his outfit
Yeah.
much more, but it sucks. That's
Right.
the point.
I'm not attracted to him, is what I'm saying. I'm not. Stop trying to. I'm not.
Stop pressuring
I'm
her.
not.
Get off her back, guys.
And so then he like, yanks down her yoga pants and like just slides a finger in. And then, they start to have sex. And
Fucks her against the tree, standing up, obviously.
now let's not forget in the title, it says wife fucks 2 guys.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not wearing a wedding ring.
We failed to achieve the concept of the video, you see.
So
we overpromised, underdelivered.
Yeah.
The plot is not enforced. No
you're
supporting
gonna tell me
dialogue.
she's a wife? Why? Because she's wearing Lululemon?
We didn't spring on a cheap prop
No.
wedding ring.
You couldn't just put something on there?
Yeah. And then bizarrely, the guy who's holding the camera the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
So the first guy fucks her and then
Fucks her,
comes. And then this
yes.
other guy just emerges from
I
the
was
camera.
like, we're like 7 minutes in and now you're going to break the 4th wall?
Yeah.
She literally was like getting fucked. And then all of a sudden she like looks at him and is like, hi. Like looks at camera and is like, hi. I was like, whoa. And then we just go down and pull. I was like, whoa, you're telling me this whole time?
The conventions are a mess.
This whole time?
Yeah.
He just
Yeah.
was following her
Yeah.
with the camera and
Didn't
she was
work for
refusing
me.
to like,
Yeah, like where's our
Acknowledge him?
Fleabag? Like
Yeah.
where's our like, nod to the camera to set up the convention and then return to it, you
Right.
see.
And so then
So it doesn't
also
just feel jarring and like some kind of betrayal.
And then also like our cameraman who's now a part of the scene,
Yeah.
does this weird pan to like the path down the. I was like, what's he looking at? You know?
I thought I was trying to justify that to myself and be like, is he checking for people coming?
Yeah, like, is someone going to get caught?
Can
like, no
he
one's getting caught.
safely?
I saw the path from the side of the road. No one goes down that path.
No one
You
goes
know
down
what I
that
mean?
road, let alone that path.
Right. We were
They
in the middle of
found
nowhere.
a sufficiently isolated place, which
Right.
good on ya.
Right. Well, when shooting a porn,
Yeah,
best,
it didn't.
best
It didn't.
to do so.
Yeah, it didn't include when shooting a porn. Just to make sure
Let's
you're
make sure
not
it's
in someone's
pretty-
backyard. Yeah.
You're isolated.
Hot tips.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Mhm.
he doggy styles her from behind,
Right.
as
She
well.
braces herself on the tree.
And then we get
And then she's like, do you know, like, Phil, I want to finish my run, like, dripping with your cum.
mhm.
And I was like, oh, God, I really can't imagine something worse, Just, like, running around with the,
just this bag of spooge.
oh, my God.
in your panties. Yeah.
Toss out those leggings, girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you can wash them.
I mean.
Jizz is very negotiable.
Again, you don't know,
You know
what
what
kind
I
of
mean?
heavy metals is in that gum. It can be kind of bleachy.
Fair enough, but haven't you ever
know?
like had jizz on your blanket and been like, oh, just flakes right off?
Okay, gnarly. It just flakes right off. Wash that fucking blanket.
Of course I do, but it like still does.
Okay, I'm gonna go over to your apartment later and I'm like, why is this blanket gonna break in half? Literally starchy as hell.
Well, now you know. Now you know why.
Jesus Christ.
Excited to have you stay. Of course I wash jizz off my blankets, but like,
Right.
like the next morning, sometimes you're like, look
Right.
at that.
Yeah.
It's like some jizz just like, you might as well like blow it away,
God.
I don't know. Maybe I'm dating different people.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just very
I'm like,
flimsy jizz.
yeah. Now I'm just like, what's in the
Unsubstantial
diet of
jizz.
these men that I'm having sex with? Because shit, I'm like, this shit needs to get washed.
Yeah. Shall we discuss cowboy cream pie?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So this is from FTM Fucker,
We've got it on a pink label.
which is essentially like an independent studio, like
yeah.
production company created by James Darling.
Yes.
And featuring James Darling.
Very, very famous. One of the most probably famous trans porn stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially on pink label.
Yeah. Very popular.
Yeah. He's
in that space, especially.
definitely-
I'm
yeah.
going to read the description of the video.
Oh, please do.
I know you don't love when I read things, but it's
Ugh.
not too long. James Darling is a heartthrob
now.
cowpoke who creams himself. James saunters into frame, locking his dreamy eyes at the camera and slowly parading his body to show us his cute caboose and swollen teacock. After stroking and making himself wet, he whips out a thick, fleshy cock to ride, bucking himself cowboy style. After coming hard while full of cock, James pulls out to show us the creamy white cum overflowing from his hole.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I liked the idea of talking about this.
yeah,
Because
we're
genuine
flipping the
is,
script.
Like we've
On
done
a
a cream
cream
pie
pie.
episode in the past or like talked about them on the show otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't talked about that. Like you can be trans and have a cream pie time.
Well, yeah, you can also do a solo vid and have a cream pie.
Exactly. Yes.
Like,
Yes.
You don't actually need to have
the
a
kink.
real life
You
dick.
can play with the kink and
Yeah.
like use a
You can
a
have one that
dildo
like
that has the
ejaculates.
yeah.
With, and that's my biggest thing is I'm like, what are they using? For
Yeah,
the
yeah,
cum.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
what do they
yeah,
got
yeah.
in there? Like I know on like photo shoots and stuff on like mainstream porn sets, like
It's a lot
they
of like
always use
Cetaphil or
yeah.
something else mixed in.
But I'm
Yeah.
like, can that go in?
do you think Cetaphil knows?
Could you imagine?
Do you think Cetaphil is like concerned about their brand?
Yeah, they're like,
And the fact that they're like,
they know, they're like
looks
a-
so much
yeah,
like
a
jizz. Are they
percentage.
like trying to rework the
and like a
formula to be like,
percentage of their
can we make it less jizzy? And then it's just like, well, that looks just like my jizz. Oh, my jizz is more like this. Like, I
Right.
love to be in that test kitchen.
or just that like majority, like there's a good percentage of sales like goes to like the mainstream porn industry.
Yeah, why would they fight it? Because like,
Yeah, they're like,
buying
well,
buckets of it.
yeah.
I imagine. Like,
They're
man,
like, we cut a-
California,
we
Los
cut a
Angeles, for
deal.
some reason, is one of our biggest markets.
Yeah.
Must be all the woo woo
Right,
women who just
right.
want to use a natural, sensitive skin product.
This is a sweet video.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it because we are like flipping the idea and like turning the convention on its head and
Mhm.
not using like a traditional what we think of when we think of a cream pie because
Yeah.
this is a dildo.
Yeah.
And I liked that. I will say that like I thought it was funny that it was like a cowboy solo vid and he's just like in like a living room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, we're not like at the ranch.
Yeah, I kind of didn't mind that though.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I was like, yeah, we're
was
just
kind of
in front of our. It had
was
a
a
sort of rustic
rustic
vibe. It could have been a
vibe.
cabin.
Right.
You know,
right.
like it had slightly like a Western vibe
Right.
without going over the top. You
Right.
know.
And also I felt like watching this video, it just reminds me like how much you can learn from like queer people, you know, or like masturbating techniques that I was like, oh wow, I'd never considered, you know?
Which give me an example.
Just the way that he was like getting himself off.
I see.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I had never
Yeah.
considered that specific like hand motion.
Yeah,
you know?
the sort of like specific movements around his
right,
teacock and,
right.
like,
Yeah,
that kind
it
of
was like
stuff.
more
Yeah.
like an actual like jerking off as
Yeah.
opposed than like a
dinga dinga dinga
Yeah,
dinga.
you know, like a
yeah. We
you
call
know?
this dinga 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 dinga.
yeah, do you know?
We have very
I mean, for
technical
the people
terms
listening,
for our own masturbation techniques.
for the people
Yes.
listening, what I'm doing is I'm like rubbing back and forth like really quickly, you know, like I'm
Yeah.
like I'm doing a remix, you know, on the turntable.
It's DJ Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah, it was a slightly different. There was a lot of like movement around,
Yes.
and then on top of as well,
Using the clitoral hood.
Yeah,
even,
using.
you know?
Yes,
Mhm.
good point. Good point.
Incorporating.
Yeah,
Um,
and then obviously they ride a dildo for a bit.
yeah.
and then show us the cum.
Right, where you get some cum
Yeah.
dripping out.
Yeah,
I also
milkier
appreciated.
than Cetaphil.
Yes,
Had
quite milky.
a strong.
That was the first thing I wrote. I was
whiteness
like,
to it.
what
You
is
know.
it? You know?
Yeah. What's in
but
there?
also James also does the thing where he pushes it out, like he clamps down and pushes it out.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
I know that because his butthole gave a little wink, wink, which is what happens sometimes
Dead
when
giveaway.
you're, you know, when you're like activating, you're clamping down.
Yeah, you can't.
know?
I come to think of it, or try it right now. I don't know that I can isolate my butthole.
pelvic floor without clenching your.
Can I flex my cunt without winking my asshole?
You can't.
Jury's out.
You can't.
Jury's out. I don't think I can.
But yeah,
I don't think I have that skill. I bet somebody can, the way some people can raise one eyebrow.
that's a good point.
You know, somebody has that skill, and if
I
you
bet
do,
they're
let
a
us
porn
know.
star. I bet you they're a porn star. You know.
Yeah, I hope
and
so.
that's why they're a professional.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a really sweet video. I
Yeah.
liked it. I liked that we found something that wasn't like mainstream and kind of like flipped it on its head and just showed us like, oh, a cream pie doesn't have to be like always what you're thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I liked that. I don't think I'm not gonna masturbate to either of those those videos,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Cream pie isn't my thing. It's
not
not
really
my
my
draw.
thing. It's one of those
And
things
I'm
that's
also
like,
very like, I rarely go for a solo vid at all.
Yeah,
I like
same.
watching people fuck.
same.
Sue
I also am
me.
someone that's like, this is one of those things that's like I'd rather experience it than watch it, you know?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
as we
exactly. Like
know-
cream pie is something I like to do. And as I articulated earlier,
right.
more about like an emotionally intimate partner,
Of course.
more about like their pleasure in the moment and my pleasure through their pleasure. So it's less about like watching something that's like going to be arousing. It's almost like more of like an emotional thing for
Yeah,
me.
of course.
And that's
yeah.
not true. A lot of people like cream pies, obviously, like,
Right, like-
purely for the physicality of it.
Right.
And like the kink of it. But yeah. So I guess we're in agreement on that one.
Yeah, we are. Well, hey, thank you so much for listening to Girls on Porn. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Girls on Porn. That's porn without the O. On our Twitter at GOP the podcast. On our website at girlsonporn.com. And also on our Patreon, patreon.com/girlsonporn.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. And if you want to be so kind as to give us a cheeky little 5-star review, feel free to include your Instagram handle so that we can tag it and thank you.
This has been Girls on Porn, the only GOP that's actually any good.
That was a HeadGum podcast.